on Hawaiian punch. Oh, you like all this gush? Oh no, you can't get enough. Sipping on Hawaiian punch.
Hey, my name is Adeline Warren, and you're listening to Girl Talk. I like to say that I'm the big sister of the internet. You can watch me fuck up all you want, but hey, maybe we can learn something from it. I hope you enjoy. Hey bitch, how you doing? I hope that you're doing well. I hope that it's been a good week for you. I just finished a French class, so I feel really good about it. And I was like, I just want to fucking talk. Let's fucking chat. I have my iced coffee. I got an iced vanilla latte again today. I know you're gonna judge me. Adeline, you're in Paris and all you do is drink Starbucks. Be mad about it, bitch, and stay mad about it because I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. I had another coffee this morning, actually, and it's from a cafe, but this is what I got. I'm sorry. This is the best that I could do for you. But I got a couple of your guys' questions on my spam account. It's called Not Adeline on Instagram. And I wanted to answer them for you because these are my favorite types of episodes. This is like, I think, the third episode in a row that I'm just going to be answering questions. But I love these ones. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just so fun.
This episode is sponsored by Lumi. If you're thinking about trying Lumi, then I recommend starting with Lumi's Starter Pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping.
And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with the code GIRLTALK at LumiDeodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off of your starter pack when you visit LumiDeodorant.com and use the code GIRLTALK. For over 40% off your starter pack, go to LumiDeodorant.com and use the code GIRLTALK. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. BetterHelp is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/girltalk today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/girltalk. Whether you're searching for the latest sneaker drop, that iconic handbag, a timeless watch, or your next piece of classic jewelry, eBay authenticators are there verifying every detail of your purchase. eBay's authenticators are experts in their craft, true connoisseurs, and as leaders in their fields, they're making sure your items always arrive as authentic as your style and never get faked over ever again. In a world full of fakes, it's time to get real with eBay Authenticity Guarantee. Everyone deserves real. Visit ebay.com for terms. And I really love this first question. I really wanted to answer this first question. And someone asked me, how do you really feel in Paris? And what is the difference between Paris versus Los Angeles or Paris versus Toronto? Like, what do you feel like is the difference? At least from the first couple weeks that I've lived here, okay, if you ask me this like a couple months down the line, my answer would probably be a lot different. But from the first month or so, I just thought I would give you guys my 2 cents and let you guys know what has been going on and what's been happening and what I feel like is the difference between the two places that I've lived in. And I made a little list so I can remember. So first of all, I want to say, bitch, if you go to fucking Europe or at least France, where I am in Paris, I didn't know. Nobody told me. There's no TikToks. Nobody says this. Nobody wears leggings. The fuck? Like, nobody told me that. I was posting on my spam account and I was like, why is everyone giving these weird fucking looks when I'm wearing my leggings? I even went to a restaurant and someone goes, oh, my fitness woman. And I'm like, what the fuck? They don't wear leggings outside of working out. Like, it's not like a casual thing that you wear in Toronto or LA. So that's the first thing. Second, there's like no Target, there's no Walmart, there's no like big department, no Bath and Body Works, like no big department stores that you could just get everything at. So say you want to go grocery shopping, you probably want to go to like a flea market or a market. They have the markets a lot on Saturdays. They have like fruit stores, they have meat stores. I mean, obviously they have like, you know, your typical like grocery stores like Monop or like there's other ones like that, but a lot of the times those are what you're going to want to go to. And the food, girl, the food is so fucking fire here. all the food. It doesn't even matter. Like, you know, when you go to the US, you're like, you go to a restaurant, you're like, whatever. Like, you kind of have to do your research and make sure you go to a good restaurant. All the restaurants are fucking fire here. And then also, again, there's like no big like Olive Garden. There's no like big restaurants here. They're all little like mom and dad pop shops, or mom and pop shops. Is that the word for it? I don't fucking know. But they're all little like family-owned restaurants, and like, hey, okay, sometimes they can be rude, and I see people, they're like, oh, I went to Paris, it was such a disappointment, and like, yeah, that's what I thought the first time too. But it's like, you know, if you don't speak French, you don't speak the language, I understand they get a little bit like, you know, whatever. Also, I don't think that people in America really understand the lifestyle is so different here. Like, it's not like the US where, you know, you place your order and you are able to get your food really quick, and then, you know, you eat your food and then you're out the door. Like, it's super quick in the US, whereas I feel like here they really take their time, which I honestly have learned to appreciate a lot more, because before I was so antsy. I would be like, oh my God, my waiter hasn't, you know, asked me how is it going in like such a long time. Like, fuck, like, I was like, the service sucks here, but it's not that the service sucks. It's just like the way that they live here. It's very relaxed. It's very chill here. Like, when you go to a cafe, it's not like, oh, you go to a Starbucks and you grab your coffee and you go to work. They don't do that here. It's almost weird. I was carrying around my Starbucks and I feel like you could just tell. You're like, oh, fucking American. But it's like, when you have your coffee, like, maybe you can make your Nespresso at home, but a lot of the times you go to coffee, you sit down and you stay there for like 30 minutes to an hour and really enjoy your coffee, or really enjoy your sandwich, enjoy whatever. And there's so many cafes all over. It's so crazy. I don't know. I used to think that I'd be like, oh, they're so slow here. Oh, like the service sucks here. But it's literally just the culture here, and it's like how people are. You don't get coffee, you don't get Tim Hortons drive-thru. There's no drive-thrus here, by the way. You don't get your Tim Hortons drive-thru, you don't get your Starbucks. You have to go into a cafe, sit down, enjoy your coffee, go with your friends, spill the fucking tea. Dude, everyone spills the fucking tea here. Whenever I go to all of the cafes, it's always people spilling the tea, someone on the phone spilling the tea, and they're passionate about it too. They're like, blah, 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 like, oh my God. But yeah, I would say that they're very slow paced, but at the same time, it's like a big city. It's very similar to New York. And this is why I understand why people may not like Paris, is because New York, sometimes the people are very cold because it's such a big city. You can't, you know, help everyone. You can't, you know, be a hero to everyone. I mean, it would be really nice if people were nice, actually, because in Canada, everyone's really nice. But in New York and Paris, these big cities like this, I feel like it's very, it can be a very lonely city, because, you know, obviously people will say hi to you and people will talk to you, your waiter will talk to you, but a lot of times it's just a big city and people are cold and people have a place to go and people will do their own thing. And that's a lot of times I feel like how it's similar to New York, but a little bit more slow paced than New York. I don't know. The men are crazy with their catcalling here. All the baddies can relate. You're like, girl, oh my God, what the fuck was that? And I haven't gone on any dates here, but from what I hear from my friends, the dating scene is just atrocious and awful here. At least from what I've heard, okay? Maybe you could tell me if it's wrong, but my girlfriend was telling me, she was like, yes, I went on a couple dates, and like the men are so lazy. You know what their go-to is? Oh, I'd love to bring a bottle of wine to your place. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face. First of all, the wine is so cheap here. So cheap here. Bitch, the wine is like $10 here. I swear, in the US and Canada, wine is like $20 at least. I don't know. But apparently the dating scene is very lazy. You think that like Paris is such a romantic city and everything that you do is so romantic here and the men are so romantic, and, you know, from the movies it seems so romantic, but at least from what my girlfriends have been saying, French men are just a different fucking breed. I don't fucking know. Next up, I want to talk about the architecture. It's so, so, so beautiful. I can't believe it. I walk in the street, and I can't believe that I'm walking and breathing air for free, because everything is so rich and expensive looking here. I think it's because Europe is just a very old, you know, continent, and they have so many beautiful buildings that are like hundreds, maybe even like thousands, probably hundreds years old, and the architecture is just so beautiful. And then you go to Los Angeles or you go to Toronto, and it's very modern, and it's very like block looking buildings, which like obviously are very beautiful. But when you come here, you look at the architecture, you see the detailing, you see the sculptures, you see like it's everywhere, and you're like, fuck, like how am I able to breathe here for free? Like everything is so beautiful here. All of the buildings, and even like when I look out my window, it's like all of the details of the building, even my mirror. I'm like, in LA or in Toronto, I feel like my style is very like modern, and it's very like boxy, and it's very clean, and it's very simple. Here it's like the wainscoting here, it's like the Ritz-Carlton. I was talking to Amber Scholl about this, and she was like, I literally based my whole apartment on the Ritz-Carlton in Paris. It's so beautiful, but it's literally $4,000 a fucking night. It's really expensive. But the architecture here, the history here is so beautiful. Speaking of the history, I feel like there are places that are haunted here. I swear to God, girl, it's like, I don't know if you believe in ghosts, but it's the places here are old. So I just respect the places here. But you could tell the places are old. You never know. The museums, a lot of the museums are actually free, and they're so beautiful. Of course, places like LA and Toronto have museums, but here it's like, the iconic, like, Mona Lisa, they have the Louvre, they have so many beautiful museums that you can see, and the architecture is just so beautiful. The history is just so beautiful. Of course, they have that in LA and Toronto, but it just feels different here. It feels so like romanticized here, and it feels so, I can't even describe it. The planes and the trains to go to different cities are so cheap. So cheap, bitch. Like, I saw flights, and sometimes they're like $20. Have you ever heard of that in Toronto or LA, like in Canada or US? Like the flights, the trains, the public transportation system is so convenient. In Toronto, it's like whatever. In LA, it's atrocious. The public transport system is atrocious. My brother was living with me in LA for a little bit, and he doesn't have a car. He was trying to get around with the public transport. It's awful. Ubering everywhere is so expensive. So eventually I got my friend to like help, rent the car to him because he's under 25. So renting a car would be so expensive. Getting around in LA is just like expensive in itself. Getting around here, the Ubers are so cheap. The planes are like $50 to $100 to go to the different countries. To go to London, you just take the train, and it's like less than $100. Like, oh my God, everywhere here. I can't even imagine growing up here. Like, I wonder, like, if people grew up here, would you just, I was talking to my one friend. He grew up in the UK. My friend Kieran grew up in the UK. He said he would go to Paris all the time. He just takes the train. He's like, I feel like I'm just at home here. I'm like, damn, imagine growing up here. Imagine growing up in Europe, and you could just live anywhere. Like, oh, it's so cool to me. I don't know. I find it really fascinating. The designer is really cheap here. I was looking, girl, if you want to get a good like deal on your designer bags, Hermes especially, it's like $2,000 cheaper here. If you want, say, this is extreme, but if you want, say, a Birkin bag, it's $8,000 euros here, and $10,000 US in the US. And US and euros are pretty much the same. It's just a little bit different. But $2,000, you're saving $2,000. That's good. That could cover your flight. Free trip, bitch. If you want to get a really expensive designer bag. But yeah, the bags are really a lot more affordable here because they actually make it here. There's no import duties and fees. People say you go to Rodeo, and like the people here in Europe are just like laughing at you because you're spending a crazy amount of money, way more money than they're spending here. I also feel like a lot of the girls have a lot of designer. Maybe it's because we're in the city, but I've noticed a lot of girls have like, they're just walking around with Birkins and Kellys and Chanel and this and that. And I'm like, whew. I don't know if it's just because we're in the city or maybe we're in a rich area, but like, what the fuck? All the girls are like dressed up to the fucking nines. Speaking of the girls here dress very, very classic chic. I feel like in LA, everybody expresses themselves. Everybody wears whatever they want. But you can wear leggings. You could wear sweatpants. You could be a bum. You could be, 100% glam. You could wear whatever the fuck you want. Nobody would bat an eye. Same with Toronto. I feel like Toronto is the same, where you could wear whatever the fuck you want. Nobody would really bat an eye. Here, people stare. People will stare at you if you're dressed a little bit outside of their norm. Their norm is very like, very classic. I would say it's very much like Sophia Richie, like old money, classic outfits. And it's a lot of jeans. It's a lot of like linen pants. It's a lot of high neck tops. It's, I don't know, maybe some skirts maybe. But you can never catch a Parisian girl, French girl wearing sweatpants or leggings ever outside, ever. You never catch them tripping. They always have like some sort of jewelry. They're always accessorizing. They have always a designer bag. I'm like, fuck, like I need to dress like this. And you know what's so funny? My French teacher would always dress like this. She's always dressed to the nines. She's had a cute little outfit, and it's very simple. It's like very much basic outfits, but they accessorize it and they make it super cute. I don't know. It's inspiring to me because normally I wear sweatpants every day. You guys fucking know me. I literally wear my merch every fucking day. So I've been able to adjust and figure out what my style is here and get inspired by seeing how they dress here. I don't know. It's just really cool.
This episode is sponsored by Lumi. Don't let the summer funk ruin your summer fun. This year, it's time to summer-proof your body odor, and luckily, there's a solution, and the solution is Lumi. Lumi is a whole body deodorant for your pits, your privates, and beyond. My favorite part about using Lumi is knowing that it's safe for my skin. The deodorant is aluminum-free, paraben-free, baking soda-free, and clinically proven to last up to 72 hours. It's also proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Lumi has a range of products beyond just deodorant like wipes, body wash, soap, and even laundry supplies. With a handful of scents like tangerine, lavender, sage, and toasted coconut, you can be bound to find a fresh scent that you like. If you're thinking about trying Lumi, then I recommend starting with Lumi Starter Pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with the code GIRLTALK at LumiDeodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off of your starter pack when you visit LumiDeodorant.com and use the code GIRLTALK. For over 40% off your starter pack, go to LumiDeodorant.com and use the code GIRLTALK. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. We have all childhood trauma. I know you do. So it's time we take it out in therapy. Stop relying on your friends or your partner to heal you. You have to have time to work on yourself to get better. And a great step to become a better version of yourself is to start therapy. Therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. BetterHelp is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Honestly, I cannot recommend therapy enough. I'm always working with my life coach because I'm still on my way to become the best version of myself. And it's a never-ending journey, just like being the best version of you, finding out who you are, figuring out the new things that you love and the new you. So find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/girltalk today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/girltalk. At the drinking age, they don't give a fuck about drinking here. They never check my ID when I buy wine. They never check my ID when I go to the club. Whereas in Canada and US, I don't know why we're so strict about it. Why are we so strict about, drinking age? I don't know. To me, I kind of like it here. It's like anybody is able to drink here. To me, it's like, it's almost like less of a big deal. It's just like a part of the culture. But I don't know. I think I grew up in Canada, so the drinking age is like 19. It's like 18 in Montreal, so it wasn't really like that big of a deal. But, they still ID you. They still ID you at the store. They still ID you at the club. They still ID you, everywhere. Whereas here, they don't ID me or anything. And then the last thing I want to talk about is how dog friendly it is. It is so dog friendly here and I love it so much. I even heard it's even more dog friendly in Italy and I'm so excited. I don't know. I kind of want to go to Italy with Blue. I'm kind of excited. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if there's like a train or like some sort of plane that we could take. But I heard
Italy is very dog friendly, but here I take Blue out to walk and everybody's so friendly. We go to the cafes and they don't even bat an eye. She's welcome everywhere. I think I saw something saying that France has no dog rules. So it's really whatever each company says. So almost 99% of the places let Blue in and they're really friendly and they love Blue. They always give her a little water bowl. I don't know if you saw my little Chanel vlog, but they gave her a fucking marble water bowl, bitch. But at the restaurants, they'll give you water bowls. Like, they're so nice and accommodating here. Whereas I feel like in LA, they are dog friendly if you sit on the patio sometimes or whatever. Canada is not dog friendly at all. You can't bring your dog anywhere. I don't know, they're rude and they're like, oh, you can't bring your dog, or I don't know, but I don't know. I love how dog friendly they are here, and there's dogs everywhere. It's like the best thing ever. But that's what I feel like, to answer your question, a very long answer to your question. That is what I feel like is the difference between Paris and LA and Toronto from what I've seen in the past like couple of weeks. And I don't know, it gets really lonely here sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I made the right decision. But then there's times where I'm like, I'm walking Blue and we're out and we're at a cafe and I'm reading my book and I'm at peace and I'm having a coffee and the waiter is just like letting me be. And I'm at a cafe for like 3 hours just reading my book. Like, I'm like, this is so peaceful. I don't know. And even just like the work culture in Canada and LA is like grind. It's like you're constantly reminded, like, how much money do you make? Like, what do you do for a living? Or, everybody's always working. And especially, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but after COVID, I feel like it went from work hours to like just 24/7. You always are on Zoom. You always need to be available for a text. You always need to be available for this. Everything is virtual now. And there's no time for a break. Whereas here in Paris, it is so slow here. You know what's so funny? You go to the, say you want to go to like fucking DHL or something. They close from like noon to like 1 p.m. for lunch. Like they have their employees, they get off at noon till 1 p.m. and they just have lunch. And then there's a sign that's like, oh, I'll be back in an hour. And you're like, damn, I saw on Google, you guys are supposed to be open. Nope, they're at lunch. I don't know. They're just very chill here. They're very slow here, which I think I've kind of grown to admire and grown to like. But yeah, long story short, these are the things that I am happy here. And I feel like I'm growing and learning a lot here. But yeah. Next question. Someone says, is it normal to get bored in a 3-year relationship, and how do you keep it going? 100%. And whoever says, oh, we've been dating for 30 years strong and like, oh, blah, blah, whatever. I mean, I've never been in a relationship for 30 years, but it's like, nobody realizes and nobody wants to say it, but relationships are work. There's no such thing as like, oh, happily ever after, and then you have, forever, and it's a Disney princess happy ending, and you have to put in no effort and you're going to be in love forever, and it's going to be the honeymoon phase forever, and you guys are just going to be head over heels for each other and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, like, that's what I thought when I was younger, but that shit just like does not exist. And I feel like it's very unrealistic to ask yourself of something like that, because relationships are work. It's like friendships. You have to put in the effort and you have to ask your friend, how are you doing? Like, catch up with them. And sometimes you fight and sometimes you make up, and sometimes, you guys agree, and sometimes you don't agree, and sometimes you have laughs, and sometimes you cry together, and sometimes you bump heads and whatever it is. But it's 100% normal to get bored in a 3-year-old relationship. How to keep it going? I feel like being independent and communicating they're just the top 2 things that I feel like make a relationship very exciting. For example, I feel like there's a good balance between being independent versus being with your partner 24/7, because 100% I totally get comfortable in relationships, and I'm like, it's so much easier to just stay with this person or blah, 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 blah. But when you spend too much time with someone, it could even be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your best friend, when you spend too much time together and you're like, you're kind of fucking annoying, bitch. And then the TikTok sound that's like, when you and your bestie spend 24/7 together, you have nothing to talk about. She's like, eat your fucking food, dumb bitch. I don't know. I feel like having time apart and being able to, go out to lunch with your girlfriends, or have him go out to golf with his guy friends, or being able to go to see your family without him, or being able to go to the dog park by yourself, or being able to let him go out with his guy friends because you trust him, and you know that you're a catch, and if he wants to cheat, then he will cheat, and there's nothing that you could do about it. I don't know. I feel like there's a balance between spending a lot of time together versus being independent. And I feel like there's so many times where I get lost in relationships. And I remember when I was in a long relationship, I was like, I know, I'm an independent person. Like, I'll be totally fine without them. Like, I do things on my own and, whatever. But now looking back at it, like, I was totally, I mean, I wouldn't say codependent, but I would say maybe they were codependent on me. And codependency is just not sexy. And how do I explain what is codependency? Like, codependency is an unhealthy dependence in relationships. The codependent will do anything to hold on to a relationship to avoid the feeling of abandonment, an extreme need for approval and recognition, a sense of guilt when asserting themselves, and a compelling need to control others. So in a relationship, there's always a person and then a codependent person, someone that you need to survive with. And I feel like in any healthy long-term relationship, you guys need to be able to almost be a team. Not really like you guys are the same person, your other half. It's almost like you guys make each other better. So I see this online. It says signs of a codependent false self. It's emotional numbness, low self-esteem, worth is conditional depending on if other people like you, anxiety with other people, editing your words, dissociation, dissociation when you're like kind of zoning out. You're watching yourself, you're often feeling empty, you're dead, you're flat, or you're shameful. You imagined superiority, you have trouble regulating emotions, you have trouble connecting with others, and you have a fear of intimacy and almost imposter syndrome. Like, you don't deserve to be loved. Like, why would I deserve to be loved? Why would anybody love me? Whereas I feel like a independent, strong, confident person would almost feel the opposite. They feel very empowered. They're very confident. When they say something, they mean it. They're able to regulate their emotions. They're able to connect with others. They make friends very easily. They're not afraid of intimacy, and they do believe that they deserve love. So I don't know. I think I would maybe ask yourself, like, yes, I go on dates with my partner, but what is the most important relationship that you have in your whole life? It's your relationship with yourself. Maybe ask yourself, yes, I'm going on dates with my partner, but am I going on dates with myself? I'm getting to know my partner. I know their favorite color. I know their favorite movie, their favorite TV show. I know this about them. I know their favorite outfits to wear. I know, what kind of sports they like and their favorite players. But do I even know myself? What are my hobbies? Do I have things that I like about myself? Do I have maybe a sense of style? Maybe my style is changing because we're always constantly changing. We're never the same person year after year after year. Do I have this new longing for something? Is there something in my childhood that I've always wanted to do? Am I trying to get better at cooking? Like, have I reached out to my girlfriends recently maybe? Or maybe my gay best friends? Like, bitch, like, ask yourself these questions, and I promise you, the happier and more confident you are within yourself, the happier and more confident you'll be in your relationship, and more fulfilled that you'll be in your relationship. You know what I really recommend? You should read the book 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty. He talks about this in this book. I don't know if you want to read it or if you're a reader, but I am in the beginning of his book and he talks a lot about this. It's so important. Because true love really does exist. I used to be like, oh, true love doesn't exist. Like, the divorce rate is so high. It's over 50%. Like, who would bet against those odds? And like, whatever, maybe you had bad parents growing up, and maybe you think, they're divorced now. And like, did they ever love each other? And like, whatever, does love truly exist forever? And I really do believe love truly exists. It's just not easy. It's work. And You have to continue learning about yourself. You have to continue learning about your partner. You have to continue being a team. You have to put the work in. It's not just going to come easily. And yeah, I don't know. That's how I would say to keep it going, a long relationship. Long answer again. Next up, someone says, how do you know when it's time to leave a relationship or friendship? Everybody says this, but you should definitely do a pros and cons list. Go in your notes app and write down, what are the pros that I get out of this relationship and what are the cons that I get out of the relationship? You know, is this person loving towards me? Do they really, truly, genuinely care about me? Do they make me a better version of me? Or maybe they're not making me a better version of me. Maybe I feel very stagnant with them. Maybe, you know, I don't like the way that they talk to me when they get angry, or maybe they get a little like physical when they get angry, or whatever it is. Write it down in your notes app. And if you find that the pros are longer, you know, maybe I would try working it out. And if you find that the cons are longer, then I feel like that just speaks for itself. I don't know. Same with friendships. And it's really hard. Bitch, it's really hard, especially with friendships. You're going to be like, but you know, this person is my friend. We've been friends for so long. Like, why would I end it now? But they say that you become like the 3 people that you hang around the most. And if you are looking at your friends and you're looking at your circle of friends and you're like, I don't want to be like my friends. Maybe it's, you know, time to start branching out. Maybe it's not necessarily like having this huge friendship breakup, but maybe it's just like DMing someone, asking to get lunch, or maybe it's going on Bumble BFF, or maybe it's going to a cafe and saying hi to people, or going to a new workout class and making friends there. It's really hard. And I struggle with this a lot. It was one of my goals in Paris to make friends in real life and not online because I have trouble with it. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if this helps. It's whatever you feel in your gut, honestly. Because I always listen to my gut, because you have a gut feeling for a reason. Whether you're searching for the latest sneaker drop, that iconic handbag, a timeless watch, or your next piece of classic jewelry, eBay authenticators are there verifying every detail of your purchase. Yeah, we're talking each inch, each stitch, each tick, each facet, and each clasp that makes the piece you're searching for worthy of your collection. eBay's authenticators are experts in their craft, true connoisseurs, and as leaders in their fields, they're making sure your items always arrive as authentic as your style. So go ahead, get that piece you've always wanted, and leave it up to the meticulous eye of eBay authenticators to make sure that watch movement is original, that glimmer is real gold, and that rare sneaker is legit, or that handbag is really made of genuine leather, and never get faked over ever again. In a world full of fakes, it's time to get real with eBay Authenticity Guarantee. Everyone deserves real. Visit ebay.com for terms. Someone said, how do you cope with a breakup because he cheated? Well, I first of all want to let you know, you're going to ask yourself, you're going to be like, oh my God, could I have prevented it? Like, could I have been sexier? Could I have been hotter? Could I have, interested in him more? Could I have been a better girlfriend? Could I have done this? Could I have done that? But let me tell you, if someone cheats on you, it is never, ever, 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 bitch, a you problem. It is never. People cheat not because their partners are bad. Emily Ratajkowski is so fucking hot. She's like the whole fucking package. You see all these beautiful celebrities that are, the most gorgeous woman in the whole world. And you're like, how the fuck did they get cheated? What do I have? But it's never the woman. It's always the person that cheated. That is the problem. They're insecure. People cheat because they're insecure. People cheat because they need outside validation outside of their relationship. People cheat because they have inner work and they're like sneaky, they're slimy. They will do things and they know that it'll hurt their partner, but they don't think because they don't think about their partner. They're thinking about their insecurity. They're thinking about having their ego stroked. They're thinking about, what will make me feel valid? What will make me feel good in the moment? And it's cheating. And it sucks because they're doing something that you really don't deserve. But I guess life is fair because it's unfair to everybody. And it fucking sucks. And being cheated on is just like, I can't even imagine. It's probably the worst feeling in the entire fucking world. But I just want you to know that it's not your fault, and never, ever, 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 bitch, blame yourself for getting cheated on, because it's never the person's fault. It's always the cheater's fault. How do you cope with a breakup because he cheated? Know that it's not your fault. You're a bad bitch. He couldn't handle all of this bad bitch. That is why he couldn't handle all of this bad bitch. So that's what I would tell myself. Next up, someone said, what have you found that men most enjoy during sex? You're going to think I'm crazy for this. You're going to think, I know what you're going to think. You're going to think, oh, Adeline's going to say a blowjob, pleasing him, doing this, doing that, doing the XYZ trick, doing a handstand, fucking like the go, like fucking down your fucking throat shit. No. You know what I've found makes men the horniest and makes them the most excited is genuinely like pleasing yourself, like genuinely having a good time, genuinely orgasming and knowing your body and telling them what to do to your body and just feeling your body and even playing with yourself while having sex. Like this stuff, I swear to you, nobody talks about this shit, but it gets men so horny. Women too. Gets everyone horny because men are so easy. Men get horny. They're like, dick is up. They're like, ugh, whatever. They're so easy. Women, on the other hand, we are brought up with so many fucking insecurities. They're like, oh, women's vagina smell. Oh, women should have no stomach rolls. Oh, women should have big boobs, big butt, but then also be skinny, have little fucking like there's so many things that you could say about women. Women are so insecure during sex that it's hard for us to enjoy ourselves. But I've noticed when I started letting go of like all of the insecurities that I have, and I'm like, what if he thinks that I look fat here? What if he thinks this? Or what if he thinks that? Or what if I have rolls at that angle? Or like, what if this? Or like, oh, I'm going to actually go like this so that it looks better. I promise you, it doesn't matter. Men don't give a flying fuck. The people that you're having sex with, they don't give a fuck how you look. Like maybe do that when you're filming a sex tape, maybe. But in real life, men don't think about that shit. You know what? Men will never remember, oh, her ass looks so good. I mean, maybe they will, but her ass looks so good at this angle. She had no rolls. Her titties were like perfect at this angle. Like men don't think that. They think back to themselves like, oh my God, like I made this woman like orgasm and she was like playing with herself and it was so hot and she was genuinely like enjoying herself and like I really like conquered her in the bedroom. Like she had such a great time. Like I've literally had men, or like this, like one time I had a hookup and they were like, oh my God, it's literally like my fantasy to watch a woman like play with herself. And I'm like, what? I thought we all did. Like we know, like play with yourself while you're having sex and like really enjoy yourself and like really live in the moment. Stop asking yourself, what am I going to do to make him come? Ask yourself, what am I going to do to make myself come? I swear to you, it's like life-changing and it's so sexy and you're going to have the best sex ever when you start changing your mind to stuff like that. Really, I promise, bitch, like fucking like enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Really focus on getting yourself off. Tell your partner how to get yourself off. Like do it. Get yourself off. And that is the thing that I feel like makes men the horniest. Next question. Really TMI. Someone said, what do I do to stop being paranoid of pregnancy? Well, girl, there's so many options. You could be taking birth control. You could be using condoms. I'm going to be honest. The pull-out method is kind of scary because nobody talks about this, but they have pre-cum. Men have pre-cum. It's very rare, but you can get pregnant from pre-cum. So, you know, use condoms. Go on birth control. Ask your man to get a vasectomy. Tie your tubes. There's lots of things that you could do to not get pregnant. So, yeah. I don't know. That's what I would say to them. I don't know. Next up, what is your opinion on hookup culture? I think the things that I did when I was younger, like 22, 23, I wouldn't do now, But I'm glad that I did do it because I got it out of my system. I almost like needed a little hoe phase to just like get it out of my system, date all the fuck boys, date all the bad boys, and just really get it out of my system so that I can figure out what I want. But thinking about hookup culture now, I don't know. I feel like I needed it back in the day, but now that I got it out of my system, I just feel like I need to protect my peace and I need to protect my fucking energy, especially like at the end of like my whatever hoe phase. I started being very picky about people's energies and the people that I hook up with, because sex is the biggest energy transfer that you could ever give to anyone. You walk on the street and someone says, "Oh, I love your outfit," and then you feel happy. You're like, "Oh, thank you." It's an energy transfer. You go in traffic and someone's like, "Fuck you." You feel negative. That's an energy transfer. You get naked with someone in bed and they're inside of you. Bitch, that is the craziest, most gnarliest energy transfer. Whatever they are, if they're an anxious person, if they're a bad person, how do you think you're going to feel for the next week? You're going to feel anxious and bad. So I feel like I started only hooking up with people that I felt like had good energy, because I felt like I almost had like a hookup hangover. It's like such a thing. And my girlfriends have experienced this too. So hookup culture, I think, is, it's fun, but I feel like protecting my peace is so much more important. I would rather use my vibrator. I don't know. Yeah. But my camera's about to die, so I'm going to end this episode here. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are listening on YouTube, make sure to give this video a like. Let me know any comments. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Anything down below. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure to give this video 5 stars. It helps me a lot. But I love you guys. I'm always here. If you ever need to talk, I'm always here. I always answer my messages on my spam account. It's not Adeline on Instagram. But I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm here every Wednesday. If you ever need to talk, same place, same time. Love you guys. Bye. Did you like that episode? I really hope that you did. If you haven't already, then make sure to watch last week's episode or the week after. Just click on the links, whatever it is. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. Also, be sure to subscribe because it helps me a lot. But I love you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.
Feel it rush, sipping on Hawaiian punch. Squeeze the sides, feel it rush, sipping on Hawaiian punch. Know you like all this gush? Oh no, you can't get enough. Sipping on Hawaiian.